At this time, I'd like to turn things over to Mr. Dave Schaller. Please go ahead, sir.
Thanks, Abe, and hello, everyone, and welcome to the UFC 137 media conference call. UFC 137 takes place on October 29th from the Mandalay Bay Event Center in Las Vegas, live on pay-per-view at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific. As you all heard yesterday, we have a new main event. It will be BJ Penn versus Nick Diaz, with the co-main event, a heavyweight collision between Matt Mitrione and Czech Congo. At this time, we are joined by BJ Penn, Matt Mitrione, and Czech Congo. Abe, if you would, let's open it up for questions.
All right, certainly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to queue up to ask a question at this time, please press star, then 1 on your touch-tone telephone keypad. Again, that's star 1 if you'd like to queue up to ask a question, and we will pause for a moment to assemble our roster. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, that's star 1 if you'd like to queue up to ask a question. All right, great. We'll go to our first question from Darnell Mason with MMA Hawaii.
Hey, aloha, BJ. What's up, man? Hey, I was wondering if you could talk about the UFC gym, BJ Penn, that's opening in Waikiki. I know you guys have already started selling memberships there, and it looks like it's going to be a great facility.
Yeah, I'm very excited that I'm working with the UFC to do something like this. Everybody in Oahu has been asking me for a long time when you're going to put a gym between Oahu, but I really wanted to do it right. And Dana White and the UFC team owners came to me, talked to me about the deal. I was like, you know what, that's enough for the event. Let's put this together. And I think it's going to be amazing. I'm very excited. I haven't had much time to the gym right now because of the fight coming up, but I'm very excited about it.
Okay, one more question, BJ. Where'd you do your training for this camp? Did you stay in Hilo, or did you go down to the Ruka gym?
I spent a month or two in California at the Ruka gym, and then I went back to Hilo for 3 weeks, and now I'm back here at the Ruka gym, and then I'm going to head over to, I'm going to do the week here in Cali, and I'm going to go Vegas on Sunday.
Okay, thank you very much, BJ. See you next week in Vegas.
Thank you, Doc.
All right, bye.
All right, great. Thank you very much. And now we'll move on to the next question. We will go to Dave Diver with Post Media News.
Hi, thanks for the call, you guys. BJ, there's been, a lot of, I don't know if distraction's the right word, but, just a lot of issues around the 137 card. You've been around the game for a long time. Is it at the point where things, like everything that has been going on, are they distractions for you, or are they just, an everyday part of the business?
This is an everyday part of the business. Everything, there's been so many changes and so many different, it's been a roller coaster ride, up and down, and at the end of the day, this is a job, I just go to work, go home and feed my daughter, and there's no stress, there's nothing to it.
All right, I'll jump out for now and then jump back in. Thanks, you guys.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Now we'll move on to Neil Davidson with Canadian Press.
Yes, Dave, did you say that, is Nick Diaz on the call?
Neil, he is not on the call at the moment, and we are continuing to reach out to him to get on this call.
Did you expect him to be on the call?
Yes, we did.
Is he still on the card then? Just kidding.
That's a better question for Mr. Dana White, but we are working on getting a hold of him as we speak, Neil.
Thank you.
All right, great, thank you. Now move on to Damon Martin with MMAWeekly.com.
Yeah, a question for BJ. We know this fight is now the main event. It's a 3-round fight, but there was a lot of talk yesterday about, wanting to make it a 5-round fight and, trying to make it a 5-round fight. What interest at all did you have in that?
I'm happy to do a 5-round fight. I've been 5 rounds many times in my career, many times in the UFC. And like I said earlier, though, this is a job, and I want to be compensated accordingly. And that's it. I'm more than willing to do a 5-round fight. If Dana wants a 5-round fight, he can just give me a call and we can put it together right now. Or if Caesar wants to make it a 5-round fight, he can compensate me personally. He can put his money where his mouth is. It's not easy.
Yeah. Does it, I mean, with the short notice and everything, I mean, does any of that bother you, or is it just mostly about, like you said, like the compensation part of it?
No, none of it bothers me at all. I've been training for a fight. I'm ready to fight. We're fighters. I'm sure a bunch of us we can just jump into the a ring or cage anywhere around the world and go 5 rounds. That's what we do. I've been training for the last 15 years. At any moment.
Excellent. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving on, we'll go to Elliot Olshansky with UltimateFighter.com.
Yes, hi. I guess the first question is for Matt Mitrione, and Matt's one to obviously this is going to be a step up fight for you in general, but now that it's a co-main event fight, do you think it raises importance at all in your career and your elevation to the next level in the heavyweight division?
I'm sorry, but I couldn't really make that out. There's a lot of background noise there. Can you say that again for me?
I was obviously this is going to be a big fight for you anyway in terms of your progress in the heavyweight division. But do you think that having it as a co-main event brings it to make things even more important for you, or is it just the same as it was a couple of days ago?
No, it's a big, the biggest name recognition fight in my career. But to be honest with you, I don't care if it's on the main event. I mean, I've competed on the biggest stage there is in professional football. I've competed against. I've played in front of 110,000 people at Michigan. There's the relevance of where it's at is irrelevant. The relevance is I got to try not to get my ass kicked by Chet Congo. That's what's important, not where the fight is. And that's so I guess no, that makes no difference at all. The most important thing is that I don't get beat up too badly in public. That's the worst part.
The way you phrase it, not get your ass kicked by Chet Congo. Obviously, his last fight was against your good friend Pat Barry, and it was a very surprising finish. What do you take from that fight as you prepare to fight Chet yourself? Is there something you've learned, or does seeing your friend that happen to your friend add motivation? What effect, if any, has Chet's last fight had on you and your preparation and your outlook on this fight?
Well, to answer that, as far as does that give me extra motivation? No. Pat Barry's a professional. He fights for money, same way Chet does, same way I do. So the fact that Chet, knocked him out on a beautiful comeback, I mean, that doesn't motivate me anything. Just all it did is shows me that Chet's resilient. He's not going to let the fight get stopped. He's going to do everything he can to keep scrapping. And that means he's got a ton of heart. So that's what that shows me over anything else. And what I've learned from him is I know that, if you get him in trouble, he's too active and the ref won't stop a fight because he's so active. So he does everything he can to make sure that, he has a fighting chance to win at all times. The way I think all of us do if we call ourselves a competitor and I think you have the heart of a warrior, of a champion. So I guess that's my answer.
All right, those are my questions for now. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
All right, moving on, we'll go to Stephen Morocco with MMAJunkie.com.
Hey, BJ. A quick follow-up on what Damon was asking about. You said that it was about compensation and that you were open to a 5-round fight. Where did you leave things? Is this a 3-round fight still, or are you still waiting to hear about it? What it's going to be?
Actually, I have not gotten a call from the UFC or Dana or anyone since I heard all this news. I found out from BJPenn.com, just like everyone else did, that I'm the main event. So I haven't talked to anyone. I'm just sitting here. I know the same amount of information that you know.
So from your understanding, at this moment, it's a 3-round fight.
I mean, from all of our understanding, I only know what you know also, that me and Nick Diaz were scheduled for the 3-round co-main event, and I haven't gotten a call or talked to anyone since then.
Okay. Well, what do you make of Nick not showing for the conference call today?
Nick is Nick. He's gonna do what he does, and for me, it's just, that's what he does. I actually, it's kind of, I enjoy watching the stuff that Nick Diaz does. He doesn't change. He's just always himself, and that has nothing to do with me. He does always show up to the fight and fight. So, I don't think we have to worry about that stuff.
Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Great, thank you very much. Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, that is *1 if you'd like to queue up to ask a question. Again, that is *1 to queue up to ask a question at this time. We'll go to Anthony Spring with FightNews.com.
Hi, this first question is for BJ. Just wanted to know your reaction when you found out that you were going to be the main event.
Yeah, I was excited to be the main event. It's always a good thing. I remember the first time I main evented a card, maybe about 10 years ago with Jens Pulver. Years ago, and I remember just being so excited that I was in the main event. I remember my jiu-jitsu coach, Renato Verissimo, was like, wow, are you the main event? And I was like, yeah, can you believe that? They actually put me in the main event. So, I just try to count my blessings, and, as much fights that I could ever main event in my life, I'll be there trying my best.
And you've main evented a lot of cards before. Does it feel a little more special this time around, since it was kind of an unexpected and last-minute decision to move you to headliner status?
What was that, sir?
Does it make it a little more special, to know that you're going from the co-main event to the main event this time?
Oh, it definitely makes it special. There's been a lot of changes throughout this whole thing. I was supposed to fight Condit, and then I was left without an opponent, and then Dana put me and Nick together, and now next thing I know, I'm in the main event. It's just been a wild ride, but I'm very excited to be in the main event. What more can I ask for? I'm in the main event of Las Vegas. It's been a while since I've been there.
Well, thank you. That's my final question.
All right, thank you very much. And moving on, we'll go to Garrett Dare with BleacherReport.com.
Hey, BJ, it's a real honor. What advantages do you feel you have heading into your fight on the 29th? And what advantages do you feel Nick has over you, if any at all?
As far as advantages or plans or what I'm planning to do, I've never really changed much throughout my whole career. I just try to come in and fight my best and try to take the other guy out. As far as Nick goes, I really feel that with Nick spars with guys like Andre Ward. He was signed to fight Jeff Lacey. He was being considered to fight Roy Jones Jr. I really feel that Nick is the best boxer in mixed martial arts today. And it shows, in a bunch of his fights. He's got the highest punch volume, and he's done all these great things standing up, and he can stand up with anyone. So, a lot of people want to talk to me about my boxing and different things, but, without a doubt, I think Nick has proved that he's the best boxer in MMA. He's got, we're kind of similar, I guess. He's got striking and jiu-jitsu, and that's kind of my two strengths also. I try to work on my takedowns here and there, and I'm sure Nick does, but, and then Nick's got a great cardiovascular endurance, so I think it's just going to be a fun fight, and it's going to be a great fight for the fans.
Okay. My next question is, you're obviously coming off a big win over Hughes and a tough draw with Fitch at 127. Do you feel a win over Diaz will put you in line for a title shot against the winner of St. Pierre and Condit?
I don't want to speak too soon. I'd love to get another title before I step out of the game, But as far as everything goes, I'm just trying to take it one fight at a time. And if Dana feels that I'm impressive, in my next fight, and he wants to grant me that opportunity, I'd be very gracious with the offer.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. And moving on, we'll go to Ben Phelps with MMAWeekly.com.
My question is for BJ. BJ, you mentioned that Nick does what he does, and it doesn't really affect you. I mean, do you, as the guy who in the main event who did show up for the conference call, do you feel at all like that it puts too much on your shoulders, you having to do too much of the PR responsibilities if the other guy doesn't show up for it?
No, it's nothing. That's nothing for me. I was just gonna take a 30-minute jog anyway today. I got nothing to do, But that's good. I'm a fan of Nick Diaz. I've been a fan of Nick Diaz before he was in the UFC, and I enjoyed watching his antics then. And I know Nick Diaz personally. I know Nate Diaz, whatever they do, they're themselves, and it's no problem. None of this. The only thing that's going to be bothering me is when Nick Diaz is probably punching me in the middle of the octagon. That's the only time he's going to be bothering me.
And just so I can make sure I understand, you said that you haven't really talked to the UFC. You know only kind of what we know. I mean, does that mean that you didn't have any conversation with the UFC after they decided to move you up to the main event? You had no contact with them?
None. No, I haven't talked to Dana or anybody.
So you found out that you were in the main event now via the internet, just like we did all on DJPenn.com, I'm sure?
Yeah, I found out from DJPenn.com just like everyone else.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And moving on, we'll go to Neil Davidson with Canadian Press.
Yes, thank you. BJ, you said you'd like to get another title before you step out of the sport. But given how much you've done in this sport, the length of your career, do you ever think, as you prepare for a fight now, do you think that this may be one of the last ones? Do you start to look back? Or are you still looking forward?
You know what? I've had to answer this question a lot over the years. It's for me. It's always been a love-hate relationship with mixed martial arts, and maybe even the UFC at times. But no, I'm not planning on going anywhere soon. But you never know when you get that opportunity to get a title shot or to maybe get a title. Just like Carlos Condit, he's going to sit out and wait, because he never knows again when he could get that opportunity. And I understand him, for doing something like that. And, it's, you never know. I'd love to stick around as long as Randy stuck around, if I could do something like that. But, it's one day I want to fight 100 more fights, and the next day I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I think a lot of fighters feel that way, but maybe I'm just more vocal about it.
Okay. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now we'll move on to Nicholas King with CKNW 980 AM.
Hey guys, appreciate it. BJ, how you doing, buddy?
How's it going, man?
Good. Aloha to you. Big fan from Vancouver. Just wondering if having your brother start fighting, if that's kind of lit a fire underneath you to kind of get you training a little bit harder. Has it motivated you at all?
I think it's nice to see him fighting. I'm motivated and stuff, but I'm sure it has motivated me a little bit. But I want to see him do the best in his career. So as of now, I mean, we got fights going on at the same time. But you know what? He's always been around the camps, and he's always been there as a training partner and different things. So it's kind of just business as usual.
Another quick question here for you. If you were Condit, if you were in his shoes, would you sit and wait for George St. Pierre, or would you look to fight someone soon, just not to be on the bench?
That's a tough question. I mean, the fighter inside me would say I might as well just fight, and the man who maybe retire one day without getting another title would say, maybe you should have waited and took that chance. It's a tough choice, and I guess for Condit he made the right choice, and I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that question.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks so much, BJ. I'll look forward to seeing you in a few weekends there on Halloween weekend. I'm psyched. I got a question for Matt Mitrione. You there?
And Matt, your line is open.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Matt. What kind of cup are you going to be wearing against Congo there?
I'm going to wear one that's hopefully protecting. Honestly, I'm not too worried about it, man. I think that it's whatever it is, as long as it covers up my jewels, my nuts and berries, I'll be all right, my man.
Are you looking to keep this standing up? Or are you hoping to get him on his back and do some damage down at the bottom there? Not.
That all depends. If he's kicking my ass standing up, I'm gonna try to get him pregnant. If I'm doing well standing up, then I'll probably try to keep it there. But it kind of depends on the flow. I've been working in wrestling. I've been working on my ground game. my cage defense. So it kind of depends. You always have these mental plans and these loose kind of things, but pretty much all of them go out the window once you start scrapping and kind of see the tempo of the fight and how things are going. But if Czech's getting out on me, there's no question in my mind that I'll be trying to dive on the floor to get him on the ground and scrap and wrestle with me down there.
I love your style, brother. I love your style. I wish you the best of luck. I'm just kind of wondering if it's going to be a win by a Mitrione smirk, because we know your opponents don't like your smirk when you're out in the cage there.
Well, thanks. As long as it's a win, I don't care about the smirk on or not.
Me neither. I love it. Okay, thanks, all.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much. And moving on, we'll go to Mike Chiappetta with AOL Sports.
Is Czech Congo still on the line?
Check.
Just wondering if you can answer. Matt has obviously made a quick rise in the UFC, and this is sort of his real first big jump at opponent level. How did you feel when you were offered this fight with Matt, and kind of do you feel that he's ready for this jump?
My point of view is everybody has the chance to face anyone famous, so that's a good thing for him. Hopefully, he's gonna be ready for the bout. So many years and also careful thing. So I'm not gonna try to get kicked out by somebody else. I learned a lot from my last mistakes, and I will do my best. But for his fight, yes, that's something great. Also, he got the good skills. He's in great shape. So let's see. So I wish him good luck next Saturday.
Are there any particular parts of his game that concern you more than others?
Well, I have anything to say about that. So the thing was, I'm training. I'm training everywhere. Boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. So I learned last time from the last fight I made against Pat Barry, and also forced me or dropped me with a large hook. So it was the kind of thing, who surprised me and I didn't expect. So I think somewhere the strategy to work on that. But I don't know about that, I have any worries about that. And I'm still training, still focused. I have a good partners, a good training coach, and I just try to do my best every day. So it's just getting better. So people say, okay, he got weakness, but every day, every hour, every minute, I work on my mistake and weakness. So I think now, I'm getting better than before, and I just like to improve those skills for the next time. Hopefully, everybody will enjoy the victory I could bring on my side again.
Okay, thanks. And I have a question for BJ as well. BJ, it seems like, the media, the fans, we pay a lot of attention to what Nick does away from the sport with, showing these press conferences and some of the other things that he's done in the past. I know you're sort of a fight purist. I mean, do you think that we pay too much attention to this stuff and we should just kind of worry about, what he does come fight day, or do you think this is kind of warranted the scrutiny that he gets away from the cage and missing these obligations that the other fighters have to do?
Yeah, I think it all goes hand in hand, and Nick is a great character of the sport. He's who he is. There's no doubt that I'll remember him not showing up here today. He's a gutsy guy, and that's the way he fights, and that's Nick Diaz. But I think there's nothing wrong with the media focusing on that stuff. I mean, it's something to talk about. It's a story, and I guess I don't want to say it's good for the sport, the guy not showing up for the press conference, but it is another character in the sport,
And did you sort of agree with the initial decision to pull Nick out of that fight with GSP? Do you think that was warranted from him missing the two conference calls, or should UFC have kind of looked past that and kept him in the fight? Because obviously they were comfortable enough to keep him in there with you, and now he's in sort of the same position as the main event.
That's strictly on Dana. I don't know how the sports bookies and everybody felt about talked about maybe Nick getting pulled out of the GSP fight. I don't know what happened on that end, but yeah, I don't know. Dana's got a certain way he wants to run the company, and I can understand where Dana's coming from with the stuff he does, and I would have loved to got to see the fight, with GSP and Nick Diaz, but here I find myself facing Nick Diaz next week. So I don't know. It is what it is.
Do you think Nick would have beat George that fight if they had fought?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay, thanks for the time, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now we'll go to Damon Martin with MMAWeekly.com.
Just a quick follow-up, BJ. You've known Nick for a long time, but we know Nick inside the octagon or inside the cage. He likes to talk to opponents. He likes to kind of, bait them into his kind of fight. Do you expect that to happen? And how do you, do you laugh at that? Do you kind of prepare for that in the fight if he does start that kind of, the talking thing during the fight?
Yeah, I probably expect it to happen. A fight's a fight, and there's no friends in the octagon, and I expect him to come out and say a bunch of things, and I might be saying some stuff myself, and that's just the nature of the game. Fighting, it's a tough sport, and tough people are involved, and you want to be as professional as you can, and sometimes your emotions get to you, but of course I expect him to say stuff, and that's just the nature of the fight. I won't hold any of that against him personally.
And you and Nick have had history together as far as, have you guys have, I don't know if you work together, each other. Does that play into any of that? Do you just kind of have to play it as, that's just part of the fight, Nick's going to do it. It's not really personal. It's just the way he kind of amps himself up for a fight.
Yeah. I think he's just amping himself up for the fight. I'm sure I've gotten under a lot of people's skin over the years with different things I've done and I've said, and that's just it, man. He's going to be amping himself up. We've trained together. Him and Nate Diaz came down and helped me defend my lightweight title after I lost to George St. Pierre. They came down and really gave me the support and trained with me a lot for the Kenny Florian fight. So, I know, I've trained with them before, but as far as okay, this is what I'm going to do because I know this from training with them, it really doesn't work like that. Whatever happens in the octagon, it's different.
Awesome. Thanks, BJ.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now moving on, we'll go to Ariel Helwani with AOL.com.
Hey, guys. This question is for BJ, and I apologize if it was asked. I had to drop off for a second. BJ, I'm just wondering, in your mind, what is at stake for you if you do beat Nick Diaz? Because it's pretty much, it's public knowledge that if Nick wins, there's a very good chance he'll fight for the title. But GSP, if he remains the champion after fighting Carlos Condit, you've already fought him twice, and Dana doesn't seem all too keen on putting you in there for a third time. So what would you be gaining from beating Nick, other than just obviously the big reward of beating him?
I think just me and Nick Diaz, it's a fight that ended up getting put together. It's not a fight that either of us asked for, but it's a job, and at the end of the day, we all gotta go to work, and as far as getting the title shot or whatever, I think I think a bunch of the title shot and all that, it's all about at the right time. Who's open, who's injured, who's not injured, and like I said earlier, I'd love to get another, maybe we win the welterweight title one more time, maybe even, if possible, try to win the lightweight title another time. But I'm not going to sit there and dwell on it. I'm just gonna keep trying to fight my best, and like all fighters always say, the fight's against yourself. So I'm just gonna constantly, try to push myself to my personal best.
Does that mean that maybe you're rooting for Carlos to beat GSP? Because if he would win, then it would obviously open up a lot of possibilities for you at 170.
I guess it's really hard to say. I mean, Dana White was saying that if I beat John Fitch, I'll be getting ready to fight for the title and this and that, and now they're saying maybe he's not getting ready to fight for the title. I just said all that stuff, water off the duck's back. That stuff it means nothing to me. One day you're fighting for the title, one day you're not. Like I said, it'd be great to get another title, but I just want to keep moving forward, making money, and try to feed myself.
And one last question for you, BJ. I've noticed that Jason Perillo is back with you. Your last couple of fights, you surrounded yourself with some new faces, and some of the guys that were with you for a long time weren't in your corner. Why did you decide to go back to Jason?
I think me and Jason, we got good energy. We click well. Besides all the technical stuff, he's really he's got a fighter's mind and a fighter's heart, and I really you can learn a lot of techniques from people and different things, but right when you're about to walk out to the octagon, you need somebody with the right mind and the right energy and know what to say the right thing to get you ready for that fight.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Ariel.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Now we'll move on to Joyce Valdez with RawVegas.tv and NBCSports.com.
Hi, BJ. This question's for you. I just wanted to know about John Fitch. Is that a fight that you're still interested in pursuing, a rematch, or is it something you don't even think about anymore?
Actually, the whole thing when I found out about the Carlos Condit fighting GSP, I was sitting down eating sushi, and Matt Hughes shoots me a text. He's like, "Hey, so who are you fighting?" And I thought, no, maybe Carlos got hurt. And then I heard about the whole thing that happened with Nick Diaz and not showing up to the press conference and all that stuff. And from there, I was the first thing I did was because John Fitch keeps he's not getting my gold or nothing, but he keeps on saying all this stuff that he can beat me easy and all these things. But so the first thing I do is I call Dana White and say, you know what, perfect, let's fight John Fitch. He said he's ready to go. He said he would love to fight me, and Dana said no, he's injured till December. He can't fight till December. And I kept thinking, are you sure? Are you sure? I kept bugging Dana about it. And Dana just kept saying, no, he's injured. He can't fight. So, as far as that goes, I'll fight John Fitch anytime. I'd love to fight him again.
Okay, and also a question for Dave Schaller. Dave, are you there?
Hi, Joyce.
Hi. I know we keep harping on it, but I wanted to ask about Nick, and just to find out, when's the last time you guys talked to him? Does he actually... do y'all have conversations with him where he agrees to do, this call today, and then he just isn't anywhere to be found when you're ready to speak to him?
Joyce, respectfully, I'm not going to get into the specifics, but we've been in constant communication with Cesar Gracie, and he is still searching for Nick at the moment, and that's where we'll leave it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, great. Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, that is star one if you'd like to queue up to ask a question. Once again, that's star one, and we'll go to Brendan Churchin with MMA Nonstop.
Hey, thanks, guys. Real quick, just a quick one for Matt and Czech. Curious with the fight coming up for you guys. This is a big fight moving up to the co-main spot. Just curious with the win, Matt, if you could go first. How far do you think that puts you from a title shot, and what's it going to take for you to get that title shot?
What the awesome thing about that question is that I don't get paid to worry about that. So I don't really care, to be honest. I mean, it depends. If I go out there and beat Congo, then that's a conversation we have. If I go out there and get my ass kicked and get embarrassed while it happens, well, then that's a conversation I don't need to have. So, I mean, really, it doesn't really matter to me. And, the heavyweight division is looking really pretty, and they're bringing a lot of the strike force guys over. So, that conversation or looking forward to having that conversation is quite literally 128th on my mind.
All right. And Czech, same for you. You had a great fight with Cain Velasquez. When you got to face him, probably had more success against him than anybody else has to date. I'm just curious if with a win over Matt and a decisive win at that, how far do you think that puts you from a title shot?
Honestly, I don't have no idea about that, so I just try to do my best all the time to improve and be successful step by step, and hopefully if I get the chance to fight soon as possible, I will be happy. But right now, I can't pretend to say yes. I'm the next one, but I know the line is very, very long. But hopefully, yes, I would like to fight for the belt as soon as possible.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, and good luck to you both. Just one quick one for BJ to follow up. BJ, earlier you mentioned, potentially fighting for the welterweight title and, if possible, fighting again for the lightweight title. I'm just curious, are you kind of waiting out that potential move for Frankie down to featherweight and maybe the Jose Aldo move up to lightweight? Is that a potential matchup you're eyeing, or are you just kind of throwing it out there as if the fight comes up and the opportunity arises for a lightweight title shot, you jump at it? Hello?
Yeah.
BJ, are you still there?
Oh, yeah, what's that, sir?
Oh, my bad, man. BJ, I was just curious. You mentioned earlier talking about fighting for the lightweight title. Was there somebody in mind that you were looking to challenge for that title if Frankie is to lose it or potentially move down to featherweight? Or was that just, if the offer ever presented itself, you'd jump at the option to fight for the lightweight title again?
Yeah, if the offer ever presented myself, I'd jump at the chance.
All right, cool, man. Thank you guys very much, and good luck to you all next Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, great. Now we'll move on to Tom Go with FifthRound.com.
Hi, I have a question for BJ, or a couple questions for BJ. Earlier on the call, you said that if you're properly compensated, you'd be willing to take a 5-round fight. Given that it's 10 days away from fight time, physically, are you comfortable with that? That you've been preparing for a 3-round fight.
Yeah, physically, I'd be very comfortable, and I'd be willing to take a fight.
Okay, and the second part of my question is, hello?
Go ahead, you're still live.
Okay, second part of my question is, because Cesar Gracie was so vocal yesterday in kind of going after you and pushing for a 5-round fight, did you feel that you're kind of backed into a corner that you have no choice but to say that you'd be willing to take it, just so you don't give Nick any type of mental advantage?
No. I knew he, Caesar's a strange guy. I don't know why he did that in the first place. I think actually Caesar should be the guy to have to compensate me to take it, not Dana. But at the end of the day, no, I don't mind. I'd love to do a 5-round fight. If I'm compensated, this is a job. I'd love it. Fine. A main event, there's nothing wrong with a main event being 5 rounds.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Well, at this time, I'd like to turn the conference over to Mr. Dave Schaller.
Thank you, Abe. And ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, I do want to let you know that Nick Diaz has now joined the call. Nick, welcome to the call.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So we'll go ahead and take questions *1, and Nick Diaz has joined the call. Thanks, Nick.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Well, once again, that's *1 if you'd like to queue up to ask the question this time. Again, that is *1, and we'll pause for a moment to assemble our roster. All right, great. We'll go to Stephen Morocco with MMAJunkie.com.
Question on everybody's minds is what happened in the last 24 hours? Why did you miss the call, or were you late to the call?
What? You know what? I didn't even know about a call. What happened? I didn't even know there was a call. Nobody called me in the last week or a couple of days or anything like that, so there was a call. I trained last night. I went home, got something to eat, went to sleep, woke up, my phone was dead, and then my brother's telling me that I'm supposed to be on a call. I don't know anything about it. It's as simple as that.
Okay, so it's more just like the circumstances of you not getting notice.
Yeah, I didn't get any notice for this call. I didn't know anything about it until about a half hour ago. Or no, not even that, about 15 minutes ago.
What kind of training were you doing? Caesar said you were on some sort of like a bike ride or a training ride, or what kind of training were you doing in the past 24 hours?
I did pretty much what I've been doing all half this week. I was out on the road and in the gym half the day, and then I made it to practice around 7:30, something like that, 8 o'clock. For like fight training, we had jiu-jitsu, a bunch of guys from your eyes place came down for wrestling, jiu-jitsu. I had boxing last night. Pretty big night.
All right, thanks, Nick.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Well, now moving on, we'll go take a question from Neil Davidson with Canadian Press.
Yeah, thanks for being on the call, Nick. There's been a lot has gone on with this fight, obviously, with main events and injuries and things like that. Do you have any regrets about the lead up to this fight, or do you really not let that stuff affect you?
Like in what way? In training, or what do you mean?
Well, I mean, you were off the main event because you didn't go to the press conferences. Then you seemed off the card. Then you're in the co-main event. Then you're in the main event. It seems to be, a lot of turmoil. Fighters...
Yeah. I've just done my best to try not to focus on what's going on, and just try to live every day like it's really not a big deal, because I don't know what's going to happen with me, but it's not going to make a difference whether or not I whine or cry about it or panic to get things done. I'm just going to do what I always do and train, and it's time to fight, I go fight. And that really depends on whether or not I'm ready, And that's really about me. It's not about whatever's going on in the world or whatever, who I'm fighting or who I'm not fighting, or, I'm not really going to have a choice on that. My job is to fight, so I have to fight when I'm told to fight. And that's why, that's what I do. That's what I do well. Everything else is just, it's going to be a whole another task than fighting itself or training itself. So.
Do you think you've been treated fairly leading up into this whole UFC 137 return to the UFC? Or do you think perhaps you made any missteps?
No, I'm just I'd rather kind of just plead the fifth on that, because I didn't make any mistakes as far as training and doing what I do. I've been doing I've been there putting in 100%. And I think that I always thought that's what's important. People want to see fights, they want to see good fights, they want to see good fighters, and that's what I'm trying to bring to the table.
All right, appreciate your answer. Good luck next week.
Great, thank you. Now moving on, we'll go to Karen Bryant with MMA Heat.
This question's for you. Earlier on the call, BJ said that he thinks you're the best boxer in MMA, and I'm just curious what your take on that statement is, and also just sort of what your opinion is on BJ, if you were a fan of his, how you feel about fighting him for your introduction into the UFC.
Yeah, well, sure, I appreciate that, what he said. I think, that's reasonable. It is, I've had more boxing experience than most people in the UFC. Anybody who has had more clearly have outdone them in some way, or, so I think yeah, sure, and I know I'm not happy about it at all. I'm fighting a guy who's my friend, or who was my friend, and now I'm fighting this guy. I was set to fight. I signed to fight a certain guy. I thought we had a deal. That's kind of where I'm at on it. That's how I set off. And then yeah. So no, I'm not. Of course, I'm gonna deal with. I'm not. This is hard times, just like it's been. But I'm expecting it to get any easier. So this definitely doesn't make anything easier for me. I don't like fighting people I already know, or I've already met, or trained with, or have video on me, or because we spend a lot of time training together. So it's kind of shady feelings going into fights like that. But I'm just doing what my manager says. They work it out. We work it out in the gym training, and then they decide to tell me, okay, do this or do that, and then I'm just doing what I'm told.
Okay, and stylistically, do you think a fight with BJ is going to show off your skills more than a fight with GSP would have? I'm just kind of thinking about how you feel introducing yourself into the UFC, if you know what I'm saying. Like, do you think that this is a better fight for you stylistically, or would you have preferred to fight GSP?
I would have preferred to fight GSP, of course, because it was, it's not like I'm fighting somebody I already know. I'm fighting for the title. That's why I started this. That's why I'm fighting for the UFC, because I came to fight for the title. I came to fight for the money. I came to fight for the title. And that was the GSP fight. So now I'm not doing that fight. And I think I had the right skills and the right tools to do the job in that fight. And so I don't know whether this fight is going to make me come off looking better or worse. As far as I know that I think that George comes out and he can. A lot of guys, he's a little bit bigger than BJ size wise, so he's able to hold BJ, and stall for the rounds. I don't think he would have been able to do that to me, especially in the 5 rounds. In a 5-round fight. So I was looking forward to that, and I think that was going to be interesting to see how, either how he was going to deal with me or how I was going to deal with him. But this fight, it's a completely different fight. And I think BJ is a lot better fighter, to be honest with you. I think on the technical standpoint, or, he's much better jiu-jitsu, boxing, and even on a physical level, I wouldn't count him out. I don't think he should fight at this weight. I don't think he looked so great his last fights for whatever reason at 155 pounds. For whatever reason, I don't know, but yeah, I think that he, I think he's a much better fighter than GSP all around.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks, and we'll see you next week. Good luck.
All right, great. Thank you. Now moving on, we'll go to Jose Rodriguez with Sun Media.
Hi, my question is for Nick. Nick, I know you say you try to not let the things that happen, outside of your training and preparing for a fight bother you, but do you have any regret at all that you didn't get that title fight because you didn't get on a plane?
Well, yeah, of course I have regret. There was I have a regret. I have people are supposed to take care of stuff. I got a lawyer or something, right? I'm supposed to get paid someone $100,000, or some, I don't know, a ridiculous amount of money. All right. And, I've been doing the same, living the same since I started, since I was 17. I lived down the street from my parents, who I used to live in the same house with. Now I live with my brother. And, I've got all these people, business people, and big money people around me trying to make deals. I don't know anything about that. All I know is somebody's getting paid over $100,000 just to tell me what I'm supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do. And I'm like, for that much money, I think I could have somebody standing around telling me, hey, you can't miss this press conference. That kind of, that avoids the whole contract, and then you're out. You ain't getting shit. You're fighting shit. You're making no money. So you have to be at this thing. It's simple. I can tell, if I had read that shit over myself, I'd have been a little more cautious and not been like, oh, I got people, getting paid to tell me, all right, you need to be here or there. If I didn't feel like I had that, then I would have probably read that shit myself and dealt with things myself and been a little more cautious, and I probably would have showed up at that press conference, but that's not the case, everybody's, I'm in the gym training hard. I think that's what's important. I think we made a deal. I think a deal is a deal. You know what I mean? I don't know anything about, going back on that. That never came to mind. But as far as I'm concerned, it's like people working for me that should have been there to tell me, what's what. And that's I didn't have that like everybody else has.
Are those people still working for you, Nick?
Not by choice. If so, I don't know. I just, it's whatever. I'm not really, it's not like I have all this time to go get into that part either. Who's working for me, who's not working for me. I've been trained, I'm already, I've had to deal with everybody telling me, oh, you're you're fighting this guy or you're fighting that guy or you're not fighting or you're fighting or you're, you know what I mean? Like, I had to deal with all that through this whole thing. So, you know, of course I'm gonna have to deal with that on top of having hard training regardless. You know, it's not easy.
Do you think, sorry, Nick, do you think what happened today was one of those people didn't tell you about the press conference today, or is it?
When should I have known about this press conference? When should I have known about
I'm just asking because I think it's been scheduled for a while now. I'm just wondering if it was your people that didn't let you know, or
someone could have gave me a call. You know, like if I don't know who's talking to who about a press conference call, but I didn't hear about it. It was like, yeah, it was like, you know, just like anything. I never heard about this shit until you know, way late. So, but you got to know, I'm not sitting here with my phone waiting for a call. I'm waiting for some training. You know, I'm trying to get some relaxed time before I have to go back to another 4 hours of training. You know, I'm training hard.
Okay,
I train harder than these guys, man. I fight harder than these guys. I look better than these guys. I do better than these guys, you know, and that's why. Because I've been, you know, and I don't get no help, and I don't worry about no help. You know, so that's what takes up all my time, training and trying to, you know, become the best in the world here. And that's the best in the world, all right? That's what you're dealing with here. This is the whole world out there. Ain't nobody can beat me. It's pretty bad.
Fair. Thank you very much, Nick, and I do wish you all the best in the fight. I just had one quick question for Mr. Schaller. How long has this conference call been scheduled for?
Well, Jose, I can tell you that we sent out the release earlier in the week, and as I mentioned to Joyce, I'd prefer not to get into the specifics other than to say we were in constant communication with Caesar. But all is well that ends well now that Nick is on the call, and that's how we're going to proceed.
No, fair enough, and best of luck to all the fighters on the call.
Great, thank you. Now moving on, we'll go to Leif Knutson with Fox News Minneapolis.
Hi there, Leif Knutson here. Nick, how about we talk about the actual fight? You and BJ seem to get along pretty good. You've trained together in the past. Both you and BJ are fiery fighters, and have showed that in the ring. Are we going to see that scaled back, being that you and BJ, you know, get along well, or are we going to see the vintage Diaz taunting and feeding off the energy?
I don't know. You guys are going to call it what you will anyways. You know, I just go out there, I fight the way that I'm supposed to fight to win the fight. And so
I call it entertainment. I love it. So is the you know, being that you've moved from Strikeforce, is there any side action there? If you lose, do you give BJ the belt, or is that yours to keep?
You know what? I don't know anything about. I haven't really thought about anything. You know, I'm just fight. You know, I'm not trying to get all crazy. I need to get paid. So I'm show up and make weight. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna fight. I'm just going through the ropes. But I don't really think about all that.
Gotcha. Can't wait
if
to
that's
see.
What's up, if you want to put that up, since you're the one that's bringing that up, you know what I mean. You want to start that whole thing, then that's on you or whoever wants to jump on your little bandwagon and bring that out in the open. But I could give a shit. I don't care. I never put that belt on anyways. He could have the belt. You know, it's not important to me.
All right. Thanks, Nick. I love it. What do you think about that, BJ? Does that matter to you? You just scrap. What's up?
What's that, sir?
We were talking. I was trying to provoke Nick a little bit, seeing if the belt was on the line, the Strikeforce belt. Is that something that interests you?
Well, you know what? The only thing I gotta focus on is, you know, just going there on October 29th. That's Nick's Strikeforce belt that he earned over there fighting in Strikeforce, and I just gotta go out there and do my job.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Well, now we'll move on to Matthew Roth with BloodyElbow.com.
Hi, Nick. How you doing, man?
How's it going?
Hey, Nick. So you and BJ, you have pretty similar styles. You're both boxers and jiu-jitsu fighters. Does it matter to you where the fight takes place?
You know, it's a fight, man. You know what I mean?
that's not really what matters. I mean, I suppose it's not what matters.
All right. And BJ,
especially or in this fight, you know, that's not what really matters anyways, you know. 'Cause I think this fight can go everywhere, you know. Anything can happen. It's MMA fighting.
all right. And BJ, what about you? Do you see yourself anywhere in the fight?
Well, what was that?
Do you see yourself having an advantage in jiu-jitsu or in boxing in this fight?
No, I've already stated that Nick is got to be the most accomplished. Man, as far as maybe a pro boxer like James Toney or something came into the sport, you know, as far as a mixed martial arts guy, he's on the top of the boxing, hands down. And it just the thing for me, like, you know, I just like any other fight, I got to go out and give it my best shot.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, great, thank you. And we'll take our final question from David Martin with MMAWeekly.com.
Yeah, a quick question for Nick, just to follow up on what I asked BJ earlier. Caesar had said you guys are very interested in making this a 5-round fight, for the fans and for this being the main event. What about you, Nick? How do you feel about, making this a 5-round fight?
It's whatever, you know. It's really not up to me. Either way, I guess it's fine. It's going to be okay for me. 5 rounds, it's just.
All right. Thanks very much.
All right, great. That's all the time we have for questions today. I'd like to turn things back over to Mr. Schaller.
Thanks, Abe, and thank you to all the media who joined in today. I want to say a special thank you to BJ Penn, Nick Diaz, Matt Mitrione, and Czech Congo. Remember